time zone when my mind's gone and I'm flying home and I'm stressed out and I'm tempted to get that styrofoam and go pull it up, but you know what's up and you know that ain't gonna solve nothing. I mean, Lord forbid, I might fall or something and I'm all another cause all I need is you to hold me down like bench straps to the psych ward. It's killing me, but you still with me when I fight hard.
Hey.
You digging me when I'm eating you. Deal with me when my car's pulled. Could've dealt with me, but you felt for me before I felt for you. Keep me on that right path and the right math. It's you plus nothing is everything. You my everything. Same. You ain't gotta question my allegiance, cause the way you love me, I can never leave. I need you. I'm not side, thick and thin, highs and lows, don't let go. We gon' ride, we gon' win, don't know how, all I know. You, all I ever needed. You, all I ever needed. You, all I ever needed. You, all I ever needed.
Okay. How y'all doing? Just playing music for a little bit till everybody comes in, just for a couple of minutes. Hello, how y'all doing? I'm trying. Okay. What's up, Diana? What's up, Anthony? Francis, Diana, Janice. What's up, y'all? I'm on 2 platforms. I have Facebook and Instagram. What's up, Instagram? I'm gonna let the music play a couple minutes. Yes. Doing great, fantastic. Fantastic. Say hello. I can't see who's coming in. Let me know where you are watching from. You're all I ever needed. All I ever needed. You're all I ever needed. All right. Yes. Turn that on down. Turn it off. Yes. So it is your girl, Deidre Campbell, Woman's Worth Strategist, author of the 24-Hour Rule. And I thank you all for tuning in tonight. This week has been an amazing week. A week tomorrow is when my book came in the mail, the 24-Hour Rule. Let me show it to you. For those who have not seen it, it is called the 24-Hour Rule. Can you see it? My light is a little bright, but from my view, it seems a little bright, but I don't know if y'all can see it. Instagram, I know y'all can get a pretty clear picture. Either way, this is it, front. This is the back, me, synopsis, bio. Looks really nice. Yo, I got an amazing graphics team. They are the bomb diggity, the bomb.com. So I just want to talk tonight just a little bit about dating and lying. And guys, tonight I might lose a couple of friends tonight, but you know, it's all right because the truth has got to be told. The truth has got to be told. And guess who's going to tell it? Me. Once again, I am your Woman's Worth Strategist. So as the Woman's Worth Strategist, my job is to let women know that what they are worth, and also to remind them how much worth they have, because sometimes we forget. You know, many of us, men and women, we are highly intelligent beings. However, when it comes to the opposite sex, when it comes to dating, some of all that intelligence just goes right out the window. And some of us feel like we have to tell lies. We have to tell lies in order to make ourselves look better, to make ourselves seem more attractive, to make ourselves, to cover up some things that we're doing, when in fact, all we're doing is sabotaging what could potentially be something beautiful. And delaying some of our blessings a lot of time. We are delaying a lot of our blessings sometimes. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So what do you do when you encounter a person who seems to be dishonest while you're dating them? What is it that you do? Somebody answer that. What do you do? I would like to think the best thing to do is to pay close attention to that. Pay close attention to the person that is telling these little fibs. And a lot of times you may not know right away that it is a lie, but you may have just some type of feeling like, something's not adding up. Something just does not seem right. And I want you to pay close attention to those feelings, because there may be something to those feelings. I'm a firm believer that where there's God, there's liberty, there's peace. So if my heart and everything is not at peace, then it's something ain't right with the energy you throwing at me. That's how I look at it. Something is not right with your energy. But most importantly, you do not want to ignore those signs, and you do not want to lie to yourself. So keep in mind, people out there that are dating, people out there that are single, you cannot control what another person does. However, you can control what you do. That's all you can control. Just recently, I've heard a woman comment saying that, oh, if you keep on carrying on like this, you'll never have a man. If you keep setting standards so high and all this stuff, you'll never have a man. But guess what? My goal is not to have a man. My goal is to have a man who desires a family and a legacy. I don't want just any old man, because if that was the case, I would have had one. Yes, having a man or having a body next to you is easy. Anybody can fill that position, but everybody is not willing to take on the task of actually pushing me towards my purpose, allowing me to push them towards their purpose, and also living out their purpose. Everyone is not willing to do that. And so that is what I want to make clear to some, that you cannot be afraid to stand up for what you desire. You cannot ignore the signs. You cannot ignore the signs. Let me give you an analogy. I'm always speaking in analogies. I'm always trying to give lots of examples. Okay, so when you are driving and you see a detour in the road, behind that detour line or behind those signs, a lot of times you actually, before you get to the detour, there are signs letting you know there is a detour ahead. Sometimes a mile ahead, there is a detour. And what they are telling you is to basically, you need to make a decision as to what you're going to do. Do you want to go ahead and take another route, or do you want to go on down that detour road? And that detour road is the road that someone came up with that is going to safely get you to your next destination and keep you on the route that you were planning to take, correct? So when you say you ignore the detour signs, two things could happen. You could be severely injured, or not even severely injured. But the next thing is, you will be, what you thought was going to delay you, now you're going to be even more delayed from getting to your next destination. So you made a decision. Think about this. Now you're going to make a decision to either follow the detour signs or take your own alternate route. Correct. Now keep in mind, now, let me tell you, this is how God works. God is going to give you a warning. He's going to show you some signs through some type of way. It's probably in your feelings. It might be in a nearby conversation. It might be in a dream. It might be from somebody that you don't even know. You're going to get some signs. You're going to get some warnings. And guess what? It is up to you to make the decision as to what you do with the information that you have. But guess what? You could either go on that detour, that path that was set for you to bypass the danger, or you can make a decision to take another route, your own route. And so I believe in my heart that if I'm on this detour, that is what I feel like God is guiding me along this path. The detour path is the path that God has you on, right? So if I decide to take another route, then I do not know what's going to happen. I am subject to some type of danger because the detour had a path that's already cleared for me, already that's going to guarantee to get me to exactly where I was going to get to, but it may take a little longer. Okay, so keep that in mind, that you must make a decision. Everything that you do when you're dating is your decision, and you must own up to the decisions you make. Because if you decide to ignore those detour signs or those warning signs, it is nobody's fault but your own. What happens after that? You feel me? It is nobody's fault but your own, because the signs were there from the start or early on in the process. The signs were there. Are y'all following me? You following me over here? The signs were there. So say you ignore the signs, right? And you decide to go on, he said he was going to call me, and he said we were going to go on a date. He said that we were going to do these things, but it's okay. You know, I don't want to be a bugaboo. I don't want to be all, you know, this type of woman that's always nagging and all that stuff. What you're really saying is I don't want to stand up for what I want, but that's what you're saying. No, I'm going to, go ahead and let those things slide. And so when you get married, or if it goes a little further along and somebody else may come along and you realize, well, goodness, where does heifer come from? Where's she been while we've been dating? Honey, she was there the whole time because he was lying to you the whole time, and you decided to ignore the signs. You decided to ignore the signs. Yes. So you cannot be afraid. You cannot allow loneliness to keep you from sticking to your standards. It is very important, guys and women and men. It is very important to stick to what it is that you want, and you actually communicate that with God. And I encourage you to even go a step further, and you even only communicate those things with God. Because if I know it is something that I only told God and he's the only one that knows about it, then guess what? When I get it and when I see it, I'm going to know it comes from God. There is something that I want right now. There is something that I want right now. And I know if someone walked up to me tomorrow and said, hey, here's something I want you to have, I know it's going to come from God. I know it's going to come from God. I know that it came from God. I know that it came from God. So it is important when you're dating to communicate your wants and your desires with God. Only communicate those things. And while you're dating in the early process, only communicate your concerns, or not even your concerns, but communicate what you're feeling. Talk about it. Pray about it. Communicate with God. Do not put him on the back burner, because you need him throughout the whole and complete process. Because let me tell you how God has worked in my life. There has been some things, like I said, I was wondering what was going on. Something ain't right. And honey, in the next conversation, he allowed me to hear something or see something. Or he spoke through one of my friends, who my friend didn't know nothing about what I was going through. But he spoke through one of them, and that was my confirmation that, okay, yeah. No, that's it. Nah. Got to move on to somebody else. I got to let the next candidate get a chance, because this one is not it. This one is not going to push me towards my purpose. This one is not going to build a legacy. This one is not all about family. They're all about games, and we don't have time for that. The purpose of this book, guys, is to encourage you to have the strength to walk away when it's time to walk away. Your eyes are on God, and your eyes is on your purpose. Someone that's going to push you towards something greater, towards something of value. All right. I think I got some notes here, and I know I just went all off. But the whole point is to stay on the course that is set out for you, so that you will be safe and so that you will not be in any type of danger, do not ignore the signs. And here's something I want to talk about that's a little off the subject, but one thing is that it's common. I encourage everybody to read the Word of God for yourself. Read the book of Corinthians. It talks about love. It talks about the role of a wife. I believe it's Ephesians talks about the role of a husband, the role of a wife. Get to know those things for yourself. Get to know those things before yourself, because that is what's going to answer a lot of the questions that you have. And there's a popular story in the Bible, the story of Ruth, and people always talk about they want a Boaz. So you got to be careful what you say out of your mouth, because when I read that book for myself, and I talk about it in this, I talk about it in here. When you read that story for yourself, what you're saying is, I want a redeemer. I want somebody to basically carry out the legacy of my dead husband. That's what I want. I want somebody 2 to 3 times older than me that is very wealthy. Okay, might be a little wealthy, but that's the person that I want in my life. So you be careful the things that you speak, because the book of Ruth, it does talk about a lot of things, and that's not the main thing that I focus on in the 24-hour rule. But I want you to understand that Boaz's role was to redeem Ruth and her mother-in-law, so that their name could go on, and that the mother-in-law could have children to carry out their family's legacy. Y'all stop me when I'm lying now. Stop me. Somebody know the story. I don't bring me out. Nobody else has a problem with bringing me out, but stop me if I'm telling a lie. So read the stories for yourself. Read it for yourself so that you will know and you will understand what is correct, what lines up with what you want, what lines up with your beliefs, and whatever it is. And remember to keep God in everything that you do, because if the goal is marriage, the only person you should answer to is God when you two get married. So if God is not in the picture while you're dating, you're going to have a hard time fighting the enemies and the things that come about once you say I do. So start it off right. Start it off right, guys. Let me see what kind of comments you all have. That is most of the things that I wanted to say tonight. Hello over here in Instagram. Thank you all for watching. I know that you all cannot share the message, but I do thank you for tuning in tonight. And I thank you all for supporting my post, for sharing my post, and for purchasing the book. And of course, if you haven't already, do purchase the book. The 24-hour rule is actually, and you know what, guys, you don't even have to buy the book. I'm not all about buying the book. Actually read it. Read it. You can get this book on Amazon for $4.97. $4.97 on Amazon. Or you can buy the paperback here. The paperback is $20, and you can go to paypal.me/DJ Campbell. The link is on my Facebook page, and I believe the link may be somewhere on Instagram, but either way, I know it's posted somewhere. Or you can always instant message me or DM me to get information on how you could get the book. But I don't want you to just get it. I want you to actually read it. It is a very easy read, but it's to the point. It's the meat and potatoes. It is what you need in order to go further in this millennial dating scene, because it's getting out of control. Do not ignore the signs. Stand up to your standards, and keep God in your dating environment. Yes, Diana, run. That's what you do when you start lying. Run and address it. Yes, Michael, you are absolutely right. So I'm gonna scroll down here, see what other comments we have here. Thank you for tagging Psalmist Kamika. Thank you, guys. So one day I think I may do like a Q&A type of session, just to get you all, get the conversation started, to talk about just real life issues. Real life dating struggles or whatever it is. But guys, I want you to understand that the bottom line is, if someone is interested in you, it will not be a difficult journey. I do not believe that you have to go through hell and high waters while you're dating. I mean, I feel like those types of struggles are for married people. Hey, but I'm saying while you're dating, it's supposed to be sunshine and rainbows, unless there's some type of natural occurrence, not an occurrence that is that happens based off of your decisions, the decisions you make. It is a difference. So that's why when folks say there's cheating involved, and they say, you know, man, I made a mistake. Nah, you know, mistakes is something in life where you may have done something that you were unaware of. Decisions is something that you have full consciousness of. You made a decision to stop what you were doing and do something else that was against, you know, the other person's knowledge, or against their loyalty, or against what they may have believed in. That's what happened, right? Yes, so set your expectations and your standards and do not waver from them. That's right, absolutely right, Diana. Do not waver from them, because if you continue to go along with it, of course, there's some things that, you know, you can live with, but if those things that you decide to if there's some things that you decide to overlook that you can't live with, then it is nobody's fault but your own what results from it. Nobody's fault but your own what results from that. All right, so if you're just tuning in, I want you to watch the replay. I want you to share this message with somebody. I want you to tag your bestie. I want you to go out and get the 24-hour rule and actually read it, and then let me know what you think. Give me your feedback. There's been some great and amazing feedback so far. This is something that the body of Christ needs, they say. This is something that that is very relevant to some things that I've been going through. It's real, guys, and it's raw. It's a lot of this is my own personal experiences, but one thing is true, that I actually was able to take a hard look at myself, and I was able to take ownership for the things that resulted in my life. So that is what I want you all to see and experience along with the other readers. So thank you again. I am Deidre Ray Campbell, author of the 24-Hour Rule and Woman's Worth Strategist. And guys, I want you to remember, date with a purpose. You deserve to be loved and experience love. All right. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next Wednesday.